Hey, welcome to the second video in the new letter help series where we all help each other when you share your letters. Now, let's go jump right in and look at the letters that we have for this evening. Now, I already have the letters for the third video, but if you would like to submit yours for video number 4, you can do that using the link in the description as well as the first comment. All right, so let's get right to this. These are letters submitted by you guys. Special thanks to every single person that submitted letters. I chose the best relevant ones out of them that I thought would help the most people. But I will be using every single letter that you guys submit. So you have to submit, right? So we're going to go one by one, and I'm going to show you why I think this would be a fail or that it's awesome and the reason why. All right. We're not looking at every single aspect, as you can see, but on this one, it's very, very simple that this person used the very first sentence. I really thought that it was totally fine. A smiley face means, hey, it's great. All right. They said, I need for you to fix these problems listed below. Please note this is factual information taken directly from my credit report, and these are blatant inaccuracies. I'd like for you to send me the documentation that documentations that was used in this investigation. All right, so just a little bit of an edit right there, but nothing big. Okay, so smiley face means great. All right, so let's look at the first X. All right, for first advantage. Now, they said that this shows that the account status is derogatory, but this account was paid off as Experian is reporting. Therefore, this account needs to be deleted immediately for inaccurate reporting. And this is not true. So if you look over to the right side, I put this account is most definitely still derogatory. Look at the comment. Look at the timeline. It was late, then it was charged off. It was not paid in full, but was settled. Settled is I didn't pay on time, and then when I did pay, I didn't pay in full, and therefore it's derogatory. So that is not correct. Okay. Now I see what you're saying, because as you can see, I put the little arrow over here. It says derogatory, paid, derogatory. Now, it's not inaccurate for them to put derogatory because settled is still derogatory. And as you can see, there's a monthly payment of 0, the balance is 0. So this is reported accurately. It's just very simply that Experian reports it as paid versus derogatory. Okay. So I hope that clarified that. And just so you know, if you submit your letter, you will get a copy of your letter with my corrections on it when you submit it, okay? And as you can see, nobody knows that it's your letter. Every single comment I have on my videos, besides, the hate mail and the love mail, is, hey, I need help with my disputes. So if you need help with your disputes, very simply submit your letter so that we can all help each other, okay? Now, here are a couple of my recommendations, and I even show you what your best avenue or approach would be. Now, if you look at number 1, I have the best reason, and it points directly towards the date last active, all right, not the status. You need to start at the top of the hierarchy. The hierarchy starts on a charge off with date last active, aside from blatant inaccuracies, okay? So we're breaking it all down, okay? And what this person is talking about, where it says paid, but down here, you can see account legally paid in full for less than the full balance, unpaid balance reported as a loss by the grantor. All right. Account legally paid in full for less than the full balance. What that means is they settled. So on $1,000, maybe they paid, I don't know, $850. Maybe they paid $750. Maybe they paid $500, but they did not pay $1,000. Okay. So best reason is the date last active. Look right here. 2015, 2017, 2015. All right, so 9/15, 1/17, 2/15. Now, the second thing I would go after is last reported. It basically shows that this account wasn't investigated. We have 2015, 2017, and 2017. Now, this person dated their letter probably it was July 17th. So if this is not their first dispute, then there's a problem right here, because last reported should actually update to the date that the bureaus verified it, quote unquote, air quotes, verified it as accurate, right? So if it does not change, then it means that no investigation took place, all right? Now, the second page for Goodyear, oh, sorry. Okay, the reason that the date last active is so important is because these dates stipulate when this account will naturally fall off. They need to be accurate and consistent, right? So for Goodyear, I put a smiley face because it says all payments were made on time, which basically means update my payment history. Second one, Ford Motor, smiley face, totally fine. Date last active shows differently on TransUnion. She gave the date, he gave the date, whatever. Experian and Equifax, inaccurate, needs to be deleted. Perfectly fine. All right. MoneyLion, same thing, perfectly fine. And my only note on this would be that you can maybe see if you have a better dispute reason instead of having two or more accounts with the same root reason. What I mean is by root reason, that when you're starting with date last active, date last active, date last active, date last active, you don't want them to come back and say, oh, this is frivolous, because you're using this reason so many times, even when you are phrasing it differently. Okay. Now, the reason this works on Cornerstone, we're going to go over why, what it is and why it works. So they put the balance owed reporting on this account, balances owed are as follows: 0, 0, and 1242. How do I owe a balance if the other two bureaus are reporting zero balance? Please delete this account immediately because it's inaccurate. Now, here's the reason why it works. Equifax has to be wrong, because if there were a balance, then both CRAs wouldn't report it as zero, right? So obviously it means that it was paid. So that's just you're not pitting them against each other. It's basically just stating outright, hey, you're wrong. Okay. Now, for the Chapter 13 bankruptcy, they put that the date filed on this account is different from TransUnion and Experian 4/11/2018 and 4/1/2018. Since these dates do not match each other, please delete this account for inaccurate reporting. Now, once again, you're not matching them against each other, right? So I wouldn't use the word match. Okay. So it's just inconsistent. You can use that word. It's inaccurate, obviously. And then the Chapter 7 bankruptcy, yes, this is definitely how you would want to remove it. Okay, so what they say is, under court, all three bureaus are reporting three different court names: TransUnion as U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Experian as U.S. BKPT CTVA Richmond, and Equifax as federal. As you can see, all these reports are inconsistent and inaccurate. Delete immediately. The reason I'm saying yes is because the court actually needs to state U.S. Bankruptcy Court, city, and state. Okay, it can also not be abbreviated. An abbreviation is an inaccuracy. So Experian is not correct by putting BKPT. TransUnion is not correct because they put U.S. Bankruptcy Court. Where's the city and state? And obviously, Equifax is not correct because all they have is federal. All right. So the court name must reflect the actual name of the bankruptcy court: U.S. Bankruptcy Court, U.S. Bankruptcy Court, BKPT, CTVA Richmond, federal are not the name of the court. All right. And my little note here is that those are court types. So for Experian, they're abbreviating, which is not correct, as I mentioned. All right. So that is why it works. Now, I really like this one because it's a different type of dispute. Okay. And my notes are meant to be comical. They are not meant to be judgmental. Okay. Once again, we are here to help each other. But this person starts with: the prevalence of fraud in these unprecedented times due to COVID-19 is very troubling, and I have tried to be very vigilant in monitoring my credit, and I have advised your bureau before of inaccuracies, and I still see that things are wrong. I don't have money in my budget to sign up for those private and expensive monitoring companies, so I depended on you to ensure the accuracy of the data on my report. I am currently unemployed, and I really need for my credit profile to reflect correctly as I am searching for employment. I am challenging the following items that are listed in error. Okay, the prevalence of fraud. Do you really speak like this? Okay, that's what I have it marked as 1, 2, and 3. All right, so we're going to look at that: 1, 2, and 3. And I think my speaker is about to say connected because it just went offline, so I turned it back on. So if it does, I apologize. The first like is because it says very specifically what they're disputing, like why they sent this. I have advised your bureau before of inaccuracies, and I still see that things are wrong. Number 2, I don't have money in my budget to sign up for those private and expensive monitoring companies. That's a justifier. And number 3, I'm currently unemployed, blah, blah, blah. That's another justifier. What these two things mean are I'm a real person. Okay, that is why I like that. While it's long, while it's drawn out, while there's too much on there, at least for me, it's simple and it says, I'm a real person. I need help. And, that's it. Okay. Just don't use the prevalence of fraud in these unprecedented times in COVID-19. Just the same way that you speak with your husband, your wife, your sister, your coworker, your brother, whatever. That's the way you write your letters. Okay. Now, moving on, as you can see, I did cross some things out. I'm going to explain that. So, one main. All right. There's just too much going on here. All right. I underlined the only thing that should be on there. The data loss payment is reported with vast discrepancies. Do not put vast discrepancies. Once again, okay. TransUnion 9/14/2018, Experian 9/14/2018, and Equifax 9/1/2018. Right. So the rest of this stuff is just too much. I previously disputed this account, blah, 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 for removal because it is inaccurately reported. Your bureau never responded to my request for investigation, and nothing was sent to me to prove an actual investigation was conducted on this item. If this information is coming from the same creditor, then it's supposed to report consistently and uniformly with all three bureaus. Then goes the actual reason. If an investigation was actually conducted to verify this account, please furnish documentation so that I can see where this information is coming from. I enclose a copy of my actual credit report highlighting the inaccuracy. If you can't furnish what I've requested, this account needs to be removed for failure to perform a proper investigation, which is an FCRA violation. Dude, what? Why would you put all that in a dispute reason? All right. eOscar will not be able to categorize this correctly. Okay. You need to put very simple, to the point, no extra stuff, dispute reasons. And this also means that the language that you use needs to be targeted so that the computer can understand it, categorize it correctly. And, that's one of the best ways, besides obviously disputing the right way, and using the hierarchy and all that kind of stuff in factual based disputes. That's one of the best ways to get a fast deletion, is by telling the computer what you're trying to say. All right. So moving on, Santander, I previously disputed this account for blah, blah, blah. This account is still inaccurate because the date of last payment is wrong. Equifax shows blah, 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 and this is wrong. The rest of this stuff does not belong here. Santander Consumer USA has also settled a class action lawsuit for predatory lending practices and consumer manipulation. I'm including documents from the Attorney General. This company has been sanctioned for not being honest and keeping records. So please tell me how you did your investigation on this account. I didn't receive any documentation showing investigation was conducted. I read my credit report and it indicates to contact the lender with any questions. However, in order for me to follow up with the lender directly, I need to be provided with the documentation you submitted to them. I will also need the name, address, phone number of whom you claim to have verified the accuracy of this account so that I can follow up with them as well. Otherwise, withholding reference to the original creditor is FCRA violation. Dude, what? You put an entire letter as a dispute reason. And once again, I'm not judging you. I'm not talking crap to you. I'm not any of that stuff. This is meant for us to help each other. And for me to help you, I need to tell you why this is wrong. Obviously, that is what this video series is about, right? So I know that there's a ton of people using letters as dispute reasons, and that is a no-no, okay? So I underlined the actual reason. Now, here's something that you need to understand. This was previously disputed. All right. Now this says this account is still inaccurate because the date last payment is wrong. So am I to assume that this is a new dispute reason, or am I to assume that you are reusing a dispute reason and that that you're telling them that they didn't investigate it under this dispute reason? Because if you are saying that without using the EvolutionLine method, then you're setting yourself up for failure with a frivolous response. Okay. So maybe include this on a separate page, like, okay, we're looking at reason equals date of last payment as inaccurate. That goes to a deletion. But reason equals date of last payment is inaccurate, plus a lawsuit, plus documentation, plus investigation. That's way, way, way too much. Like, cut out every single word that is in addition to what you need to be on there, is one more word away from getting the result that you want. You have to remember that the more is not the better. Okay. So LVNV funding. All right. So, and it looks like the top of my documents were cut off, and I guess that's just from scanning it into my printer. But, so And this is a very familiar dispute reason because I'm pretty sure it's one of mine. I don't understand how this account is still being reported on my credit report and credit profile, and I already told your bureaus I have no idea what this account is. Nothing was sent to me to prove ownership. I need to see something with my signature or the paperwork that was filled out if you're going to keep this on my report. Please delete this unknown account. So you can actually just say, please delete this unknown account. Or where's the documents to prove ownership? Otherwise, delete, okay? Your dispute reason, more often than not, should not be more than one sentence, okay? When I'm reading it out loud to myself, if I need to take a breath when I'm reading it out loud, it's too long, okay? Now, you're going to understand why I put Harvard or Yale on here, but going back to page 1, you would understand that I don't like all these extra words and, okay, I previously advised on blah that this account is inaccurate and requested removal. It is being reported vastly different amongst all 3 bureaus. How can this possibly be reported accurate when I see that the dates of last payment are reporting different? Okay, dude, which college you went to? Harvard or Yale? Like, there's nothing wrong with going to Harvard or Yale, but I use that as a example, reference, whatever, because most of the doctors and I don't know, people that I've met that went to Harvard or Yale, they're like, hey, come sail on my boat and hoity-toity, vastly different amongst, right? So that's why I put that. It's a joke, dude. Get over it, okay? The only thing that should be on here is what I underline. Date of last payment or are wrong in the dates. That's it. Everything else you need to cut out, okay? I need to ask, what was your method of verification? Please provide all documentation that was submitted to this creditor. I also need the name, address, phone number, whom you claim to verify, blah, 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 blah. If you're going to put any of that, put it in your original paragraph, that very first paragraph, which also should not be more than a couple of sentences. Just how did you verify this? That's all I want to know. How did you verify this? And where's the proof? Okay. So now on the inquiry part, you did a great, great, great job. That's always says yes, 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 yes. Yay. Smiley face with the tongue sticking out and the spit. Okay. So this is one thing that you need to understand about inquiries. Yes, they are expensive to do because the bureaus are not going to remove them most of the time, right? But if they're going to, it's going to be because of this reason outside of identity theft, okay? So the below listed hard inquiries are in violation of the FCRA for not satisfying any permissible purposes. I would put that in plain English, but anywho, and cut out the rest of that second sentence. Please note that there was none of the following, there were none of the following requirements. A, firm offer of credit, okay? Firm offer of credit. B, insurance purpose. C, employment purpose. D, legal purpose. E, a court order. F, debt collection purpose. G, government licensing. H, child support obligations. I, national security obligations. All right, the following inquiries are not related to any of the aforementioned permissible purposes. All right. Now, there's no need to contact them for proof of a firm offer because virtually always would have already been ported after 3 months on your credit report. So there's no need for that. So that's why we're going to cut that part out. That's what was included under the part that I had crossed out. Then they list their inquiries, and that's it. That's how you remove inquiries with the bureaus. All right. I would add something right here. These creditors never obtained my authorization to pull my credit and don't meet the requirements for a permissible purpose. Please remove these inquiries from my credit report. All right. So unless you use the EvolutionLine method, you cannot reuse a dispute reason. All right. That goes with this. I still see that the dates of last payment are reporting different. Okay. It's supposed to be differently. What this tells me is that you previously disputed this, and as I mentioned, unless you're using the EvolutionLine method, which teaches you how to legally, using a loophole, reuse a dispute reason, then it's going to come back as frivolous. So this happens when, number one, they verified the account as accurate, and number two, the information such as dates, numbers, etc. has changed. That's when you can reuse the dispute reason if you want to know how to do that the right way. Because I'm not talking about saying the same thing on the same account with the same information. You can go check out my free workshop replay on the EvolutionLine method. Okay, just go back a couple videos, you'll find it. All right, so going to the next one. Now, this person has this wrong, and I'm going to explain why, but I use this because I know a lot of people think this way, and this is not correct. So their reason for this Synchrony Bank Lowe's account is you're reporting a past due balance of $3,709. If the account is closed and charged off, I cannot, under the FCRA, have a past due amount or a balance. That is not correct. If you didn't pay your account, it will have a balance unless it was transferred or sold to a collection agency. Why? Because the account was not paid. Obviously, if the account was charged off, you had a balance and you didn't pay it, it's going to show a balance and a past due. So no, that's wrong. You just wasted 30 days. Okay, now their second letter, I have quite a bit to say about this. You don't want to piss anybody off, and you also don't want to get in trouble for anything, and you also don't want to be an asshole, all right? This person said it's missing a shit ton of data. This account, this American Express. Please delete this account as it is incomplete, missing data, inaccurate, and is helping to murder my credit score. Now, I put a question mark there under murder because I actually, when I printed this and I was like doing this, I thought I was reading this incorrectly. I actually had to take this over to my husband and say, what does this word say? And he read the paragraph and he said, this says murder. And I was like, oh, crap. Okay. Yeah. What? Don't say shit on, or shit ton, sorry, and don't say murder in a letter to the credit bureaus about your credit report, okay? Just my advice, all right? You're more than likely not going to get a deletion on this. And here's your other reason why. What is missing? What's inaccurate? What's incomplete? I mean, here would be an example. Delete American Express account number, blah, 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 because the date last active is missing, and this is required to report for accuracy. Okay, that's a much, much better dispute reason. Okay, going on to the next one. Now, I like this because it's so simple. You see how nice and one sentence sized this letter is? I was reviewing my credit report and noticed some inaccuracies and violations that I need you to investigate and then send me a new report. Like, how much more simple, other than not having a sentence at all, could this possibly be? As you can see, Barclays has a smiley face. The 829 balance owed is higher than the high balance is zero. Delete immediately. Yes. My only question is, do you see this on the physical reports as well, or is it only on wherever you're getting this from, such as Identity IQ? Navient. Yes. Okay. You're reporting that I paid on time February 2018, then 90 days late the following month of March 2018. How was this so? I can't be 90 days late without being 30 or 60 days late. Delete for inaccurate payment history. Now, I will tell you that according to your credit report, yes, this is inaccurate. However, according to the creditor, they actually don't mark you as late until you are 90 days late. So according to them, that is correct because they think they're doing you a favor, okay? However, going back to your credit report, it is not it's not accurate. How it's exactly that. I can't be 90 days late without being 30 or 60 days late, right? So I remove a ton of Navient accounts this way, all right? So Scannet Energy Marketing. Yes, you were reporting the date last active as 8/1/19. Equifax reports this date as 4/1/19. These dates must be the same as it determines when the account will fall off. This person has been paying attention. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, U.S. Department of Education is going to be the same thing as the 90 days late. And I already explained the reason why it works. Landmark, once again, smiley face. Equifax reports the date less active as that. You reporting it as that. This account has been reaged and this is a violation. Now, this is the reason why it works. The oldest date is most likely the truest date, and so therefore any other date that is newer is more than likely going to be a re-age, which either way, I mean, a re-aging is a violation and otherwise it's an inaccuracy. Okay, Santander, it's beautiful, re-aged, acceptance now. I was not late September 2013. Please update. The only thing I would add to that is to paid as agreed, never late, and remove this late payment for inaccuracy. Otherwise, that was so beautiful, like so beautiful. Like I wanted to date your letter, like it was so nice. Anyways, moving on. There's a collection reporting on my account. What? On my account. a credit report maybe, that I would like you to investigate to ensure it's reporting accurately as FSRs, blah, 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 remove the account and send me an updated copy of my reports. Okay, I would kind of like condense that because you're only talking about this one account outside of the bankruptcy that this person listed at the bottom in the parentheses. But okay, here's the deal. With Kane, this is a collection. It is a third-party collection. They did not pay for it, most likely. I can't prove that, so I'm just gonna say most likely. But in my decade of doing this, I have not ever had to factually dispute them. I always use the VOD process. Okay, you need to remember that the VOD process is more than just one letter. There's 4 letters for the collector, and there's 4 letters for the bureaus. There's actually more than 4 letters for the collector because there's letter 1, letter 2A if they did not respond, 2B if they did respond, letter 3A if they responded, letter 3B if they did not respond, and letter 4 is when you actually go to small claims and send them a copy of it, okay? So what they put was they're disputing the date less active. Okay, so yes, that can be used, but it's, I mean, besides the fact that one is 2019 and the other one is 2020, I mean, I don't know. I still wouldn't do that. Like, I would go VOD, VOD, VOD. My letter 4 with the bureaus would be, the collector failure to furnish documentation. So where's your documentation? And then I would hit the hierarchy. Okay, so then they said that the bankruptcy has its own page, and here we are. As you can see, yes, 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 yes. And the reason is the same as the other one. The bankruptcy with the reference blah, blah, blah is being reported differently in all 3 bureaus. On TransUnion, the court is listed as U.S. Bankruptcy Court without an address. On your bureau, the court name is listed as U.S. BKPT CT, as in court, Colorado, Denver, or CO, which is an abbreviation and incomplete address. Finally, on Equifax, the court name is listed as simply federal with no address. It is my understanding that the full court name and the address should be clearly listed on each of the bureaus. All 3 bureaus are supposed to receive the same information from the same source, yet the reporting differs. This needs to be deleted immediately for inaccuracy and incomplete information. Yes, 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 yes. See, yeah. All right. That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. All right. So now we have another very, very simple letter. I really like that I get to see for myself that you guys are either listening or not listening to the information I'm putting out there. And I love it. I love it. So once again, thank you to those who submit their letters. All right. So I received a copy of my report. I found inaccurate reporting that is greatly hurting my credit and stopping me from purchasing a home. There we go, is the justifier why they're sending. I would like you to investigate these accounts and delete any accounts reporting inaccurately, and then I would like an updated report sent to me. The errors are as follows. I mean, super simple, right? Number 1, why you sent it. Number 2, what you want them to do. Okay, so credit first, yes, this is totally fine. Date last active. 2, preferred high balance. So I definitely would go for the high balance, as the high balance differs between the bureaus. My only question is this your best dispute reason? If so, that's great. If not, check out the other stuff. But because this is a blatant inaccuracy, I would start with this, right? So at the top of the hierarchy, we have and I'm sure this looks familiar to you. At the top of the hierarchy, we very firstly, if firstly is a word, I believe it is, have the blatant inaccuracies. Then we have date less active, date less paid, notice of dispute, first date of delinquency. Then in the second part, the second tier, your backups are high balance, status update, etc. And then the don't use stuff is like open and close date, blah, 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 unless the open date greatly differs from the actual true date, okay? So for Sequium or whatever this account is, you can see that I have an unhappy crying face. And the reason is that they used, excuse me, they used TransUnion reports the account status as open. However, both Equifax and Experian report it closed. How can this account be open and closed? Delete this account for different account status. I can tell you that this is definitely a number 3 dispute. And if you look over here, number 3 is don't use. right? So just as I mentioned, at the top of the hierarchy, we have blatant inaccuracies, then we have date less active, payment history, notice of dispute, blah, blah, blah. Those are your best reasons. Let's see, one. Two, high balance, status update, blah, 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 violations, challenges, those are backups, right? Those are fine, as long as you go through the best reasons first. Then number three is going to be terms, type, status, blah, 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 blah. Those are don't use, okay? So besides that, this was a beautiful letter. Like, I would give you deletions if I could, just because of how beautiful this was, okay? This one is a balance issue, and please delete all these inaccurately reported accounts. Thank you, type name, okay? Next one. All right, and they did have their name on here. I did scratch it out for you. Okay, so if you recall, I had mentioned how the validation of debt method works, right? Now, this person is disputing a medical account, and as you can see, we only have it listed on one bureau, right? As far as we know. So it's listed on one bureau, but they're going after a couple of things. And remember, you only want to use one reason. But let's start with what they wrote in this first paragraph. I have disputed this account to death. Don't use the word death, just saying. And it keeps coming up on my credit report. Today, I dispute you having it marked as 120 days late. That's reason one. It's a collection. Duh, it's late. I mean, computer won't really understand it, but it shows you're human, so okay. You also have it listed as date opened 11/19 and the date last active 10/16. That's three reasons right there. 120 days late on a collection is one. Two is opened, and three is active. Okay, not to mention the fact that there's no creditor name. That's four, address or phone number. I need this account deleted immediately for inaccuracy. So you're disputing a medical account factually when that's not the method to dispute it, right? And you additionally put four different dispute reasons on this account. You can't do that. Look, we only need one reason. Number one, you have collection listed as 120 days late. Number two, date open. Number three, which I didn't catch that until I read it out loud right now. Number three, date last active. Number four, missing information. Now, here's my recommendation. As you can see on the account itself, my recommendation is to use the method validation of debt, right? Round number one, you have the VOD1 to the collector, VOD1 to the bureau. Round number two, VOD to collector, VOD to the bureaus. Round number three, VOD to collector and VOD to bureau. And round number four, if it's still there, bureau, date last active. Okay, so that is how you dispute this account. I wouldn't even bother with the whole 120 day late thing. That's just reported. That's just reported by default. Okay, so I mean, I see what you were going with there. I just wouldn't do it. Okay, so dear Experian, you said you investigated. You didn't. What methods were used to investigate this account is accurate? I provided factual data, and yet you claim it's still accurate. The last reported date is different on all three bureaus. And then they put the account, Wells Fargo Dealer Services. This is a violation, and the account needs to be removed. Delete and provide an updated credit report showing changes. That's not a violation. Okay, that's inaccurate. The last reported date is different on all three bureaus. That is an inaccuracy. And here are my notes. Number one, it's not a violation, it's an inaccuracy. You could see my violations versus inaccuracies video. You're probably gonna have to go back like maybe 6 months or so. I actually have the notes right here though. I just forgot to scan them. Anywho, you can find it though. What are the dates and who reports them? Example, Experian date, Equifax date, etc. Number three, explain why you are saying they didn't investigate, such as the date last reported shows date, and did not change from my previous report date dated, even though you quote unquote verified as accurate. Delete for inaccuracy. Okay, I/A is inaccuracy. Right, so those are the changes that I would make to that. Okay, so this person submitted this letter round one, no deletions from any CRA. This is not a template letter. Charge off was paid to zero balance. To whom it may concern. I was looking at my personal credit report and noticed some data being listed in error. Okay, fine, perfect. Okay, I changed things around a little bit. Okay, so what you want is for the computer or the person or whatever to understand exactly what you're saying, right? So I always put the creditor name first. So on this one, it's Mariner. I mean, obviously there's only one account on here, but still, okay? So I would put Mariner up here with the account number, right? So you have the little dot here, I put it here, and then stop reporting this account for inaccuracy because the date last active shows, and then they have the dates. As you can see, all three dates must be consistent or the same. Delete or something to that effect, right? So that's the only change that I would make on that. I would take out the part that says if the creditor reports the information, how are these three different dates, and the light errors impaired with the account needs to be deleted. Okay. Additionally, I've shown what can be disputed in the future if all this information stayed the same. Okay. And as you can see, I dumped the bottom of it. Just please send me my results in an updated credit report. Thanks. Okay. So simple. All right. So number one, obviously date last active. Okay. Number two, activity after the close date. Look at it. Charge off, charge off, charge off, charge off, charge off. Number three, I was not late on. And then we have July 2018. And number four, when you dispute and they verified as accurate, they're required to update the date last reported to that current date that they verified as accurate. However, you could see 8/2018, 1/2020, and 3/2020. So that basically tells me that unless this person hasn't disputed this or they haven't disputed in a long time, that this is most definitely inaccurate. Okay. So, and that's not a violation. It is definitely inaccuracy though. So as you can see, there are changes that can be made on every single letter here. So what you can do is you can go and you can submit your letter using the link in the description as well as the first comment, and I'll help you out the same way that we just did these. Now, if you want to increase your dispute IQ for free, it's 100% for free, and get all of level 1 for free, you can use the link in the description and you will learn a ton about factual-based disputes in a very simple, fun quiz type of manner. Okay. I don't know what else to call it. So you'll find those links in the description, like I mentioned. But yeah, anyways, learn to dispute 100% for free. All right. So you can go to thevegasmovement.com/disputeiq-level1. And now if you or somebody else, whatever, needs help and you don't want to do this yourself anymore, maybe this is too much for you, maybe you thought you could do it and you're just learning that there's a lot that goes into this, whatever your reason, it's okay. You can use the link, that second link in the red that you see at expertcreditswitch.com/book online, and you can schedule a call with me for me to see if I can help you. All right. So what this means is that I will literally take over your file, whether you are starting from jump or you've already submitted disputes, that's okay. I will take over your file if I can and do the whole thing for you. Okay. So these are basically the two options that you have right now. Continue doing it yourself, and I'm going to teach you how to dispute. Like I said, you can go to thevegasmovement.com/disputeiq-level1, get access to all of level 1. There's a lot of people who are having a lot of fun with it, and I have a lot of fun creating it. Or, like I said, let me take over your file if I can. Now, when I say if I can, the reason that we even do the phone call is for suitability purposes. I will not take on somebody that I know I cannot help. So there's like a whole list of like, I don't know, 5 to 15 questions that I ask somebody to figure out if my services are right for them. Okay. And we're talking about financially, we're talking about ethically, we're talking about the actual negative items in your credit report. We're talking about all that stuff. Okay. So if I can help you, I will offer my services. If I can't, I'll send you to these other links where you can get free resources in addition to the 400 videos that I have on YouTube going back to July 2015. Now, for those of you that have been with me since July 2015, I really, really, really appreciate you. Now, guys, I have a ton of stuff that's coming out. I took a little bit of a spell from YouTube to, I've been helping my clients, you know what I mean? And I have a whole lineup for you guys. So anywho, that's the end of this video. Make sure to submit your letters so that I can help you the same way that we did days. All right. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I hope you stay safe. And if you need me, you can use the chat on my website at drift.me/expert credit sweeps, or you can go directly to expertcreditsweeps.com. All right, guys, I will see you later. I do have my beta coaching program coming out. And I actually just finished the form for, let me just go jump over there and show you. There's a bunch that I still have to, let's just save this real quick. There's a bunch that I still have to update on this website. I actually just signed up for it this morning, but I just created my beta coaching program, I guess, interest form, if you want to call it that. And there's questions like, is this personal or business, your name, your email, your experience with credit repair, what you're seeking in a coach, or why you are seeking a coach, your biggest obstacle, what you're looking to get from this live coaching group, and when you wanted to actually start, a little bit more information about it, all that kind of stuff. So once that is live, once I actually finish the website, I have so much going on, but once I actually do, I'm going to make a video about it and go into greater detail. But that is it for now. I'm really excited about that. It's going to be live coaching. It's going to be hybrid. All right. So we're going to do live coaching calls, where we're definitely going to get to know each other. We're also going to, you're going to have access to the DisputeIQ Master Vault and recorded video, as well as resources, in addition to, like I said, the live coaching. So, yeah, I'm super excited. I know you're excited, even if you're not even going to sign up for it. But anywho, you will be able to apply on that website. I am going to keep it to less than 50 people. There will also be an exclusive community. I have built it outside of Facebook because I'm tired of Facebook groups. But yeah, anyways, that is it for tonight from me to you. Have a great one. Stay safe. And that's it. Bye.